Family, listen, first time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
Welcome in, everyone, live from the Real Talk Studios. We are the Sports Hounds, Brad Ryder, Doug Mankiewicz, Rob Brinkman. Playoffs tonight, Eagles, Bucs, full preview. We got the Bills, Steelers wrapping up on CBS. Steelers just scored a touchdown. About to be 24-16, 24-17, pending the extra point.
And
Steelers hanging around. And we'll have a recap of the
penalty just came out after the point was kicked.
All right, we'll see. We will talk Dolphins. Doug's Dolphins are out. The Cowboys are out. Chiefs advance. Packers advance. Detroit, in what was an excellent football game on Sunday, advances. So we're going to have all that covered. But it's all about the Eagles. It's all about Eagles Bucs, the finale of Super Bowl weekend or Super Wild Card weekend. I get to our poll question. First, let's tell you about Baguio's Breads, our great sponsor. Baguio's Breads, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. Make sure you hit that like, the subscribe, turn those notifications on. Live tonight, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram. Download us wherever you get your podcast, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Poll question tonight, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple, folks. It's all about the Eagles Bucs. The Eagles will defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm pretty confident tonight. 7 out of 10 confidence. I think this football team finds a way to win tonight. I don't think Tampa's that great. I know the last 6 weeks have been extremely rough on the fan base and this football team, but the talent on the field is still there, and I think that that's going to be enough tonight. And Brad, momentum's a funny thing in this league. If they can show well tonight, they're going to go to Detroit on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock on NBC and play the Lions. They will avoid the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round thanks to the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott's epic collapse yesterday at home. What a shame. Couldn't happen to a nicer team. Eagles are more talented than Tampa Bay. Now, they have to show up, and they have to play, and they have to execute.
Without A.J. Brown now?
Brad, I don't know what A.J. Brown's deal is, but I think we're getting a look at why the Tennessee Titans didn't want to back up the Brinks truck and pay him. Ever since the Eagles were 10-1, and A.J. Brown was having 125 yards a game and catching touchdown after touchdown, it was all peaches and cream with A.J. Brown. You know, the shit hits the fan, so to speak, and, you know, you have a rough 6 weeks, and A.J. Brown's a problem each and every week. So I think we might have found, I mean, like most superstar receivers, he's a diva prima donna. Great to have on your team when you're 10-1. Not so much on a team that's scuffling and goes 1-5 down the stretch. So, I mean, maybe, just maybe, not having him in the huddle, maybe that's a little bit of a blessing in disguise. I don't know. I'm being super positive tonight. I know I'm probably the chat is going to be blowing up, but I am talking a victory into existence, Brad. I have the Eagles winning 24-17 down in Tampa Bay. I think that the Baker Mayfield injury is really, I think, the story of the game. I don't think they can beat a talented team like the Eagles with a quarterback with a bum ankle and bum ribs. So I'm talking into existence.
Sounds like you're trying to talk yourself into this, actually. I mean, Jalen Hurts at the same point also has a dislocated finger, and, you know, it's a throwing hand. I don't know how effective he's going to be either, especially when it's raining. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and, you know, anybody can win this game. I'm not convinced that the Eagles are going to be over their woes. I think that there's a lot more to it than any of us really know. There's something just totally not right. I mean, it's one thing to lose to the Giants when the game really didn't mean anything, but to lose to the Cardinals too. I mean, that's that just shouldn't happen.
They lost to Seattle. I mean, the only team that they
So a
beat
backup
down the stretch was
quarterback.
the Giants.
Yeah, and they were fortunate to win that game. You know, I mean, that could have gone the wrong way too. They really have not played well at all, and they especially not played well on the road. And I wouldn't trust them in this game.
Well, Brad, you got 60 minutes.
Yeah, certainly I wouldn't trust them if they did get past this week to go to Detroit and win. I don't know how do you expect their defense to stop that team when they couldn't stop the Giants and they couldn't stop the Cardinals? I mean,
inactives tonight: AJ Brown, Sidney Brown, the torn ACL. Reed Blankenship also not going to be playing tonight. So Eagles are down 2 safeties tonight. Darius Slay, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Hurts are active. Rashard Penny will not play. Brad, Tampa blitzes a lot. Tampa blitzes a lot with Todd Bowles. That hasn't been a good mix for this team. So hopefully this coaching staff figured out a way to
their bubble screen should
deal
work
with
then.
the blitz. What's that?
The bubble screen should work then, because that's the anti-blitz package. So
then I feel even better, because that's all the Eagles do is run bubble screens. It's extremely frustrating. You can run the ball.
When the other team is blitzing, though, it should be a very effective.
I hear you, and I am pleading with Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni to run the football tonight with DeAndre Swift and Kenny Gainwell. Pleading with them. You know, these two teams play. I know it was a long time ago, back in week 2 or week 3. I think it was week 3, Monday Night Football, and the Eagles ran for 202 yards against this football team. Now, that was a long time ago. A lot's changed since then. I get it, but the Eagles' offensive line, which is relatively healthy, has shown this season that it can bully the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive front. Now, if that isn't a newsflash to run the freaking ball, especially when your quarterback has a dislocated
here's my question.
finger.
Why couldn't they run the ball against the Cardinals and the Giants, especially the Giants?
They don't commit to it, Brad.
Well, you know what? I don't know, Rob. Listen, they're not going to have AJ Brown. Okay, so that means the only one, in my opinion, the guy that could make the big difference could be Goddard, because I don't know how far how well Hurts is going to be able to throw the ball anyway, and you know, in a rainstorm, it really could be an issue. I think he's going to have to be throwing short passes to to Goddard all night, and hopefully they can move the ball like that. And I think that's going to be the key to the game. And their defense should be able to keep Tampa Bay under control, but you still have to deal with Mike Evans, who's one of the better receivers in the league. And it's not going to be easy for them. They haven't. It's not like you're dealing with last year's team. Last year's team would roll Tampa Bay. Last year's team, it would be an easy 34-14 win, or 34-7, something beyond ridiculous. I think Tampa Bay is going to find a way to win the game. I haven't seen anything out of the Eagles to tell me that they're going to do something big time anymore. They just don't look. They look completely out of sync. The offense hasn't been good. The defense hasn't been good, and we'll see. To me, it was really bad look those last 2 games. Really bad. I just can't understand how they could go from, being as good as they've been the last year and a half and completely fall apart. But I do think they can win this game. I don't, however, think they can win in Detroit. And if they do get past Detroit now, the 49ers don't have to play the Rams, who seem to have had their number over the years. They're going to play the Packers, and I don't think you're going to get any help from the Packers in this game. I mean, the 49ers.
Spread's 10. Early spread is 10 in that game, Brad. That strikes me as entirely too much.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But the 49ers
Division
also
round game getting 10?
Yeah, but the 49ers are also capable of beating them by 4 touchdowns too. You know, that's the thing. The 49ers are a really good team. And you know, they're not the kind of team that's going to completely have a brain fart and just play terribly the way the Cowboys did. Yeah, at least they don't listen. At least they don't have a reputation to do that. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. There it is.
I mean, Shanahan's had his difficulties in the playoffs, so I mean, we'll see about that one. As far as defensive game plan goes, I'm playing press man all night, and I am blitzing a lot.
Yeah, I would blitz too, because you may not have a mobile quarterback. Boy, what a ridiculously stupid play the Pittsburgh Steelers just made. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Rob. Allen does the quarterback draw. Yeah. No, the quarterback draw where Allen's down and then the idiot goes and hits him.
He speared him.
I mean, what the heck? And what's amazing is Allen is so big and strong. He just gets right up. And it's like, where's the flag? I mean, somebody hit me like that, it may take me a week to get up.
But defensively, you have Darius Slayback. His forte is man coverage. Press man on Mike Evans.
Do you really think he can cover Evans? I don't think anybody can really cover Evans.
Not really many DBs in this league have been able to cover Mike Evans over the last 10 years. He's one of the only. He might be the only receiver in NFL history to have 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, I think more or less, Rob. The key is the Eagles need to key on him and make somebody else try to beat him. If they can, I'm not saying they're going to keep him from catching a pass, okay? But if they can do, say, 6 receptions for 60 yards and maybe 1 touchdown, hold them to that kind of a game, they should win the game. I think that's
and then the Eagles, Brad, have spent a lot of money, and a lot of draft capital on this defensive line. Jordan Davis, first-round pick.
It's time for them to wake up.
First-round pick. Fletcher Cox has been here. Brandon Graham's been here. Josh Sweat pays a lot of money. Hassan Reddick gets paid a lot of money. You got to get home tonight. I don't want to hear the most meaningless stat in all of sports, I think, is QB pressures. I don't care about QB pressures tonight. You got to get home. You got to beat the man in front of you. You got to get home, and you got to put Baker Mayfield on his butt because he's not healthy.
Agreed.
He's a pretty good athlete when he's healthy.
Did you just see this touchdown that Buffalo just scored?
Yep.
Did you see this broken tackle?
The cream is rising to the top.
Pittsburgh cannot tackle. I mean, I know they don't. I understand that they're not fully healthy, but for God's sakes, you got to get him on the ground. I mean, that's unbelievable. That should, you would think that would do it for Pittsburgh. I think the only thing in doubt now, as you said before, is the spread. And
even at 24-17, I really didn't think Buffalo was going to choke this game away. They're just that much better than Pittsburgh. But
Buffalo doesn't have a reputation to be a choking team. Now, do they lose to teams that are better than them? Yes, but you just never know when that mind-boggling Josh Allen turnover is right around the corner. It hasn't happened today. That's why they're winning 31-17. So to sum up this, before we get to some comments here, run the ball, and then after you're done running the ball, you run the ball some more. And you got to get after the quarterback. You got to get after Baker Mayfield with this high-priced defensive line monsters that you supposedly have. Now, that sounds simple. Look, if the Eagles play like the Eagles,
that's what it is.
They win the game. But if they play like this group of people who haven't showed up the last 6 weeks.
Now, I also think that they're getting break after break without even playing. And I think that might help the psyche of a team because you don't have to go to San Francisco next week because the Cowboys choked yesterday. And now it's like cool, you're the 5 seed. Now you're down in Tampa. You didn't have to mess around with Green Bay as the 2 seed because I don't think this football. I wouldn't be confident at all that this team can beat Green Bay right now in a Monday Night Football matchup. And
Not
so,
the way
like,
Green
they've
Bay
really got a break being the 5 seed in Tampa right now instead of having to be home against Green Bay. And you avoid San Francisco until the championship game. Doug Mankiewicz joining us. So that's our poll question, Doug. Pretty simple. The Eagles will defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You think they get it done? Brad thinks they lose. I think they win. So you got to break the tie.
I think they lose. That being said, you just don't know what team's going to show up. The one that showed up the last month, I don't think they can beat anybody. The team that showed up the first 10 weeks can beat anyone. So, it's like they're playing Baker Mayfield. Let's not get carried away here. Like he can implode with the best of them. So,
and he's also hurt.
Right. So when is he healthy? Which I appreciate the fact that he goes out there and plays. He's tougher than Tua, but that's a whole different poll question. I went back and forth with this one. It's Todd Bowles' defense, dude. I don't know. They can do some things, but at the same token, like they're not going into some juggernaut road place, right? It's loud, whatever. I just feel like if you can take all the negativity they've gotten over the last month and you put 4 quarters together, it's all gone. And then
0-0 is what I said at the top of the show. Everyone's 0-0.
Come Tuesday, they're, they go out there and win 31-7.
That would be a statement.
They're going to come out. Then tomorrow morning will be what? Don't forget about the Eagles, right? This is the same team that was 10-1.
Be all the same.
That's going to be the same stuff. So, do I expect a better team tonight? Absolutely, 100%. I think you're going to see leaning more towards the 10-1 Eagles than you saw the last month. And if that's the case, I think they have a chance. But it all depends to me is how they start. How do they start? If they start fast, get a break, get a turnover, and put some points on the board, and all of a sudden they start rolling again, I'm curious to see if they fall behind early, like by a touchdown, and how they react and how they respond.
Yeah, do you think their psyche is very fragile right now?
I don't think your psyche's. I don't believe in psyche. I don't believe in football, especially. You get 6 days off between games.
Yeah, but they could think, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, I mean that enters there.
That's what I mean. I mean, like
it definitely enters in there. Or you just or you can have that Dallas Cowboy look where you look over and you look like you just saw a ghost, and like here we go again, like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like when you keep stinking it up, and then all of a sudden you get. I think it's very important for the Eagles to score first.
But I also feel like that's like that Cowboy thing is like that's a playoff hangover. That's a, you know what I mean? That's a
Mike McCarthy issue.
Right, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like that here we go again thing. I think like that doesn't like happen. Like the Eagles haven't had that. They had it this year in the regular season. They're still in the postseason. They still have a shot. I don't think you get that. Like if you're a Cowboy or a Dolphins fan, like that hangs like oh, here we go again. I can't, you hear it every day. So I think it's a little bit different. I do think you get off to a good start. I think it's a better. There's 2 things that scare me. They fall behind early, or they get way ahead, or they get up by 2 scores early. Do they take their foot off the gas? Because we've seen that happen too. They don't. They just leave people hanging around. They don't bury them.
Doug, you've managed and played obviously sports at a high level. Have you ever been on a team that kind of was good and then limped into the playoffs and then made a run?
Yeah, I mean, 0-2 Twins. We won the division so early and kind of took our foot off the gas, so to speak. And then started game 1 against Oakland. That was the year they had Mulder, Hudson, Zito, Tejada, Chavez. Yeah. Anyway, we started off Brad Rackey pitching, had waited 15 years to pitch in the playoff game, and we gave up 5 in the first. And for a guy who never said a word, he came in cussing and screaming at us, and we ended up winning that game. We came back, but it was that like, hey, waited 13 years for this. Y'all need to remove your heads from your nowhere and start to play, and we did. We responded. So the point is, like, that I've been on a team that's had to race their way to the postseason and be out of gas. This first time, fall behind. We fell behind in the Oakland series because we got in so early. We had energy to rebound. The next year we went all the way, I think, to like the last 2 games of the season, and we were out of gas. We fell down 2-1 to the Yankees, and we just were like we exhausted ourselves to get there. Whereas the year before was like, all right, we're rested. So that's why I'm kind of thinking more of the Eagles. They clinched so early, and they kind of lost the edge. Now we'll see leadership. All the things they've talked about, we've talked about on the show for how many weeks. Where's the leadership? Where's this? Where's that? Now we will see. Are they boys or are they men?
Do you think teams can just be playing as bad as the Eagles have played over the last 6 weeks and just be talented enough to flip the switch? Because I've always been of the opinion that's not how pro sports work. You can't just do that. But
I mean, yes,
can it happen?
I mean, yeah. But to me, it boils down to coaching. If I truly feel, if you're a professional in any sport, if you believe the coaching staff, you believe and trust their game plan. When you start to doubt those game plans, it doesn't matter how talented you are. You're like, these guys have lost their damn mind.
That seems to be the major problem.
And that's where we're having the biggest issue with the Eagles.
That's why I can't pick them right now.
Because I feel like, you're right, watching those games, I feel like there's 22 to 25 dudes on that team that are like, what in the hell are we doing? Like, they don't trust the plan in front of them. And either trying to do too much on defense or they're tired of the bubble screen on offense. Like you know what I mean? Like you have a gnarly offensive line. We've said it for a month. Go and tell the other team at the coin toss, we're going to run the ball 25 straight times. Stop us. Just try it.
You're preaching to the choir on that.
I know we talk about it every week, but that's where I feel like where these Eagles are right now. I don't think they trust the game plan, especially on offense. They know deep down inside, they're like, man, we have a lot of weapons. We can't keep doing this. Like we're not getting you're putting us in position. All players care about is my staff putting myself in a spot where I can be most successful. I haven't seen that since probably week 10 or week 9. And even then, you know what I mean? Like, you've been saying, you guys watch it, Rob, more than anybody else. Like, Jalen Hurts hasn't played that well. I don't think. And like that's because, and it goes back to because he's on a contract, are you expecting more of him? No. Just keep doing what made him earn that $200 million. Keep doing that and just do it better. That's it.
The main problem, I think it was Brian Wilson, who's on our Sunday crew here at A2D. Like, Jalen Hurts, he gets blitzed, and he's going to get blitzed tonight by Todd Bowles. Make no 100%. Mistake about that. So, like, Jalen's got to step up in the pocket. Jalen bails out and rolls out way too fast.
Agreed.
And the receivers don't work with him. The receivers don't know what the scramble drill is, I guess. I don't know.
Which is weird because he's so strong that he should be able, like, if he just steps up, like you put Josh Allen, right? You just watch the Bills. Like when he steps up in the pocket and starts to take off, you are like if you're in the zone, he's going to pick you apart. If you're a man-to-man, he takes off. Well, Jalen Hurts is just as strong, if not stronger than Josh Allen, is a better runner. So, like, there's your – like, now what do? Do you leave the wide out to go tackle him? Now he can run you over. That's why I don't watch as much as you do, but, like, I'm dumbfounded when I don't see him step up.
And he rolls out because he can't roll left. So he always rolls right, and that makes it easy for the defense to –
That's what stop. Tampa Bay 2 years ago when the playoffs did to him.
But that's why I feel like that's coaching. Like, okay, you know, you know your tendencies, right? You know what you want to do as an organization. But there comes a point in time where you use your tendencies to your advantage, right? Throw a wrinkle in there once in a while. That's what I don't see them doing. They don't. If you want that to be your strength, you still have to prove to go. Like if you show something and do the exact opposite enough to keep teams honest. And to me, stepping up in the pocket and scrambling in the middle of the field opens up your wideouts. It slows down the pass rush because they can't get upfield. And then now I've got them slowing down. Now we can run down the throat. That's what I just don't understand. Like you have a guy who wants to run, who can run the ball, and he can take a hit. Like let him, and not just that BS quarterback draw like that they don't sell. Like that's just, I just feel like, and if they suck up on them, you have everything. Again, we talk about it every week. I do at least. Like I think about you have speed on the wide receiver. You have size at wide receiver. You have matchup problems everywhere. Why do we keep throwing stupid screens?
I don't know.
Now the Dolphins are doing it now. Well, not thank God their season's over with, but now that was their go-to thing yesterday was 3rd and 16, just pump fake and throw it to Waddle.
The one thing that the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel does do that the Eagles don't do at all is put people in motion.
And that
the
really
Eagles' offense is just.
You don't ever say you want the Eagles to do anything in Mike McDaniel's and Tua because Mike McDaniel's is smoke and mirrors. Little Einstein was great. He could beat up on some high school teams, but when you're a finesse team, you're going to get your ass kicked.
And I hear you on that. The Miami, they were paper tigers, as we say here on the show. Paper tigers. They beat up on the weak, and then when they had to play a good team, they got their asses kicked.
Correct.
But they make it easier on Tua to read the defense because they run motion. The Eagles don't run motion.
Against shitty defenses.
Right.
But you're right. I'll give you that. You're right. You do the same thing with Smith.
Yeah, but the Eagles don't run motion. Like what motion does is it gives the quarterback a clue as to if the defense is in man or zone. You know how much easier it would be for a guy like Tua, whose strength isn't reading defenses, or a guy like Jalen Hurts, whose strength isn't reading defenses? If you give him a couple clues pre-snap about whether the defense is blitzing or not blitzing or in a zone or in a man, it's going to be a lot easier for him to play quarterback. The Eagles don't do it. They keep the guys out wide, and they do an RPO where they either run the ball, do a QB draw, or throw a bubble screen. And then they throw – if it's 3rd and 2, they'll throw a bomb, and if it's 3rd and 15, they'll throw a bubble screen. It makes no sense. It's not creative.
I'm convinced that that Alabama quarterbacks are just absolute dog shit NFL players. I mean, they're dog shit. They can't read. They don't read defenses. They don't.
Who's the best? Who has any of them ever made it? Been good?
Like Joe Namath.
And what?
Yeah,
that was a long time.
1908. Like they didn't have color TV back then. Like, come on.
I know.
Like
what you said that
Nick
he ever
Saban,
made.
I hate to give Nick Saban credit, but they're awful. Like, how can you ever Tua's excuse was I didn't watch film. What? How do you start at Alabama and not watch film? Like, what did you say that? I was like, that's a fireable offense. That was after his first year.
He said that in college.
After his first year of pro ball. I was like, you what? Like, no wonder you stink. I'm dumbfounded. They can't read defenses because they don't. I go, Nick Saban must be a guru. Like, he just says, here, this is what we're going to do, and we're so much better than everybody else. Here, hit this guy, he'll be open. Because they have no never. It's a whole different topic. I'm getting off, but I'm
are they going to pay him?
If they pay him, I'm officially in the transfer portal for professional football teams.
You can come to the Eagles. We need you.
Because I can't. He's going to be our quarterback next year. They have to. It's the fifth year option.
Okay,
but
you don't have to pay him.
These people down here, I swear, I can't handle it. Fans down here, I've had it. Like, there's we had so many injuries. And no, he stinks. Like, he's not tough. He can't throw the ball 8 yards down the field. And it's only going to get worse because if he makes $40 million, they're like, well, look at the numbers he puts up. I don't give a shit about numbers. You know, easy. Look at Dak's numbers yesterday. If you just read the stat sheet, not the score, like, man, he had a great day. No, you stunk, Dak. You did your normal playoff shit.
Yeah, he was the
he's Dak Prescott is the A-Rod of
that was all garbage. That was all garbage yards at the end of the game.
Did you hear him? Did you hear him post game? Where he was like, we got to go. We really got it going late. Like when the Packers had their backups in, and you were down 48-16.
You're down.
That's when you got it going.
They backed off. Right? They backed off. It's like, huh? Like, oh, way to get it going. Like, you got it going for the offseason.
CeeDee Lamb is an all-world receiver, and he couldn't put the ball in the neighborhood of CeeDee Lamb for him to make a play yesterday.
It's bad. I can't.
But Doug, to your point about Nick Saban and quarterback, back in, I guess it was 96, 95, the Eagles had a flash-in-the-pan quarterback named Bobby Hoying. He had a couple good games, and the fans all went nuts. And John Gruden was the Eagles' offensive coordinator at the time. And he would tell him pre-snap, like, yo, X receivers running a post, and he's going to be wide open. Throw it there. Then in the offseason, I forget if they gave Bobby Hoying money or not. But they brought him in to be the starter. But John Gruden, he got hired by the Raiders. So he left. And that was the end of Bobby Hoying. So I think there's definitely merit to that Nick Saban. They just tell him.
Look, I wasn't a diehard film guy in baseball. I know baseball's different than football. But, like, damn it, if I'm the quarterback, even if I don't want to watch it, I'm going to make it look – I at least should look at it. Like, at least critique what I'm doing. He doesn't watch film of his game. Like, well, no shit. I wouldn't either. I'd throw up all over myself. Like, you can't throw a football 8 yards.
What was your process in scouting the pitchers?
Oh, you're looking for tendencies, looking for certain pitches, looking for tipping, whatever I could think of. Hang on a second. Oh, I'll see actually. All right. Sorry, my son's leaving.
Looks like that's all right. Were you
like? No, I mean, that's what you're doing, right? You're looking for. You're basically film is created to either one, make you better, which makes the game slow down, a tendency from the opponent, or holes you can exploit. Well, if you're the quarterback, no wonder it's like he only tells them this is your first read, and if you don't, take jiu-jitsu and learn how to fall. I mean, that's the Dolphins. That's the Dolphin game. Like, that's like he's afraid to get hit. All you need to know yesterday, this is the last thing I'll say about the Dolphins for the rest of the season, is 3rd and 3 with the game still in limbo. Tua runs for 2 yards and then slides. Mahomes, who's getting to be a little bit of a crybaby, in my opinion, because he has the league on his back. At least when he scrambles, he got his helmet exploded. And, like, he's more important to them than Tua is to us. And he took, like, Tua's, like, okay, you saved yourself. What are you saving yourself for now? It's okay. You know, you can get up from a hit. Excuse me, this dog.
Yeah, a little fan club back there. That's all right.
Yeah.
Brad's dog.
My dog's been on a few times.
All right, let's get to some comments here. Drop your predictions in the game on the YouTube chat, Facebook chat. We'll read them. We'll take you right up to kickoff. Rivals, Tommy Arnone. We'll be rocking and rolling all night here on Super Wildcard Weekend. Eagles, Bucs. I don't even know what time it is.
7:30.
Half hour away. Don 19, resident Detroit fan.
Oh yeah! Congratulations, Don.
What's up, fellas? What a great week.
You guys deserve.
I'm a big Dan Campbell fan. I like that dude.
Dan Campbell is.
I like
Dan
that
Campbell
dude.
is really.
I liked him when he was the interim guy in Miami. I'm happy he's got a job. I'm happy they're playing well.
I was happy to see Sam Laporta on the field because that would have sucked if they lost because he wasn't in there because of that Week 18 injury. Rob Povey is in the house. Check him out on the Hockey Happy Hour with Brad tomorrow. Pete Evans disagrees. Too much going against them. So he's got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning tonight. But I don't know. A lot of leadership in that room, fellas.
Here's a better
Fletcher
question.
Cox, Lane Johnson. They're really going out like this.
Part 2 to that question. Are you, whatever way you pick, are you picking it? If you pick the Eagles, are you picking the Eagles because you think the Eagles are going to win, or just because you don't trust the Bucs? You think the Bucs stink? Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a lot to that.
There's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. Yes,
it's a tough one.
I mean, it's hard to pick the Eagles right now. I hear you, but you don't think the Eagles?
It's hard to pick a Baker Mayfield led.
It's hard to pick the Bucs too, but like, you don't think the Eagles are laying around their hotel?
They beat the Saints though.
Yeah, but
Derek Carr, he's not much better than Baker Mayfield, honestly.
No, he's a lot better than Baker Mayfield.
He's got PTSD.
I don't think so. Look, one of the talking heads on ESPN or Fox Sports, they did a blind resume. They put Baker Mayfield stats next to Justin Herbert stats, and they were identical. So, like, Baker's not a bum. People think he's a bum, but he's not a bum. Is he Peyton Manning out there? No, not at all. If they're both 100% healthy, Jalen Hurts is way better than Baker Mayfield, in my opinion. But Baker's not some slouch.
Right,
Baker,
but I also think there's that tendency of that old Baker can come out. Just like
when Baker gets rolling in the wrong direction, it gets bad.
It gets ugly fast.
Yes, it does.
It gets bad. It gets ugly.
But
and you just worry about
the other way too, you know.
100%.
He get on a roll though, and play great football at times.
I also think though, you want him to get on a roll a little bit, because then he starts to lose. He starts to lose that reason why he had a good year, and he starts to get careless, and then that's when you capitalize, right? He starts to get like, I think he doesn't know how to keep it. He doesn't know how to keep it out of the red, good or bad. Stay here.
There's no middle ground with Baker.
Right. It's like, and that's what
it's
like that's the playoffs. That's what the playoffs do to you.
Oh, he's the little girl with the curl.
That's very good.
But like Doug, you don't think that like the Eagles are sitting around their hotel room watching Dallas choke on one, being like, "Wow, okay, so they're out."
I think that's their problem. Good. I think that's why they lost the way they lost at the end of the year. I don't think, like, if they're worried about, if they're watching that game going, "Oh man, we've got a clear path," that's why they lost whatever 4 of the last 5, because you're worried about what everybody else is doing. Like,
and you're not worrying about what
that game don't matter if we don't take care of business tonight. So like that's just not the Eagles. I think that's today's athlete. You start looking down the road, and that's when bad shit happens. For example, I go back to the 2002 and A's. Like, we never beat Oakland one time. We never beat Mulder, Hudson, or Zito. We beat Oakland in 5. We took the season series against Anaheim. That's who we lost to in the ALCS. We win game 1. We're up 1-0 against the Angels at home. And they had Ramon Ortiz throwing game 2, and I'm like, I don't think he ever beat us. And I'm going, and we literally for the first time thought, and we swept San Francisco that year in San Fran. I'm going, holy shit. We're gonna win the whole. We're gonna win the whole damn thing, and then the rally monkey got us, and we lost 4 straight, and we went home.
They had that silly monkey they brought.
Oh yeah, the rally monkey. I respect the hell out of that little damn thing. But that's the truth. Whenever you start thinking ahead of yourself,
that team could really hit though.
So could we at that point.
No, I know you could. I'm just saying that
they got on a roll, man. It was unstoppable.
Yeah, they were ballers.
I mean, they had Spezio and Salmon. I mean, you guys had a great team too, because you had Ortiz at your DH, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jock Jones was on that team. LaTroy Hawkins was on that team. Brad Rackey was a pretty solid major league pitcher.
He was an ace.
Johan Santana was in our bullpen.
He was in your bullpen.
Yep.
I mean.
Yep.
And
Kyle Loesch threw 200 plus innings for felt like 15 years.
We were pretty strong. I can't remember. Who was your middle infield on that team?
We had
pretty good, right?
Guzman, Louis Rivas, Denny Hawking, Corey Koski, AJ Przinsky, Jock Jones.
Was Torrey on that team?
Oh yeah, Torrey's in center. We had Michael Kadire, Bobby Kilty, Matthew LaCroix, David Ortiz. We were loaded. JC Romero.
You guys had some guys that could hit and pitch.
We could flat out hit, and we could.
JC Romero, I mean, he was really good in 08 with the Phillies.
Oh, he was really good in 02, 03.
Did you ever face Troy Percival?
Oh yeah.
What was it like to face him?
You just realized he couldn't see real well, and you were like, I hope he sees well enough to not hit me in the ribs. And it was intimidating because he was just so big. Like,
and he couldn't. It looked like. I mean, I don't know if he was squinting just to try to intimidate or what, but it looked like he looked scary out there.
It was noticeable. Like the squint was noticeable. Like I don't think he really can see. I really don't.
Didn't he wear them goggles? He wore them goggles.
He just looked. And he looked like it was.
And then they had K-Rod. They had K-Rod in the 8th, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They kept him in the minor leagues all year. Best thing that happened to that Anaheim team was, people didn't realize Oakland won like 21 games in a row that year.
Right.
And Anaheim, they only gained I think 2 or 3 games in the standings during that 21 game win streak. Anaheim was like 18-3, and they were right behind them. And you didn't know. They brought up the 2-headed monster from the minor leagues, and they walked us off. Oakland did that 21 game streak. They walked us off 3 days in a row in Oakland, and then they came back. They came to the Metrodome, and I think Radke shut them out through a complete game shutout to end it at 21. But man, oh man, we got walked off 3 days in a row. But yeah, like thinking back, imagine winning 21 games in a row in baseball and only gaining two games in the standings. That's crazy.
I mean, it wasn't that drastic this baseball season, but the Phillies were on. Like the Phillies started bad, and the Braves were pretty consistently good. But the Phillies were like, we're winning like 15-20, and we're losing ground.
You're losing ground.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Don 19 agrees to the poll tonight, so Don's on our side. That'll be fun. Eagles Lions up in Detroit, 3:00 Eastern, NBC.
Ooh.
How do you guys feel about, like the big thing, the conspiracy theories online, like the script is leaked? Are sports scripted? Because I'm having a hard time believing that all these storylines in these playoffs are coming to fruition just by accident. You got Cheetah going back to Arrowhead.
I won't say in baseball. I think basketball and football, there's something behind it. Because you can referee and change a game. I'm just saying. You can call a game in basketball and change the outcome, and you can do the same thing in football.
You do it in hockey, too, by the way.
Oh, I left out hockey, too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yes, you can
really screw up a hockey game.
Correct. You can really screw up a basketball game. You can really screw up a football game.
Yep.
Well, did you see the Netflix documentary? I think it was Netflix about the ref, Donaghy.
I did not.
I'll
have to check that out.
He was rigging. They were rigging games with the mafia.
There's no doubt.
The gambling.
Come on, man. Like Stafford goes back to Detroit. Like
McCarthy plays his old team.
McCarthy plays the Packers. Like, stop it.
Like Cheetah goes back to Arrowhead.
Like, stop it. Like,
really? Like, this is all natural?
Bullshit.
That is a bit much.
And now you got LaFleur and Shanahan again next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were on the same coach and staff in Washington. They've been on coaching staffs together their whole life. It seems like they always play.
Buffalo gets their chance against Kansas City in Buffalo this time.
That's going to be interesting.
Well, just like I said, being a Dolphins fan, last week you win the AFC East and you get the Bills again. Like, it's just like we finally get the 2 seed and we got to play the Bills again. Like, it's just like, and then.
Yeah, you would have had to play the Bills this
right,
year.
And the Bills beat us and get the Steelers. Like, what? And then we go to Kansas City. What? Like, wait a minute. Huh? Like, it's like, never mind. Like, what are we? It's just destined to get thumped.
I was thinking maybe you might see the Ravens and the Steelers, but they might do something today to screw the Bills and get the Ravens and Steelers, because of the rivalry. But I guess they wanted Allen.
That was my theory. My theory going into the weekend is they were going to set it up to have all division games next weekend. You were going to have the Ravens versus the Browns, the Bills and the Dolphins, the Eagles and the Cowboys, and the Rams and the Niners. But like, I feel good. Like I don't want to be the tin, because I do think I love sports. I do. I think the competition, it's pure, it's great, it's an escape from your life, your job. You sit down and watch a game for that. I love it. And I come and talk about it with you guys and listen to ATD Radio. I absolutely love it. But it feels good that I think that the league is gearing up for an Eagles-Niners NFC Championship game. I think that's what they want.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that you have like the league that wants something. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it's too. Look, you can say I say that kind of tongue in cheek too, because how do you? Even if you had that out there, right? Even if you said, okay, this is the matchup I want, you're still dealing with pros who can, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get one call can screw up an entire game. I understand that. But at the same token, like, nobody's that good to just be like, to be able to fix it how you want it. I think there's no doubt. That's
the beauty of it, though.
Right. There's no doubt the league wants it certain ways. But, I mean, like, think about this. You said the great thing about sports. Think about something else in your life that you have absolutely no control over that you're this passionate about. It's impossible. It's like it's crazy.
Well,
definitely not my job. Definitely not my job.
Yeah.
I'll tell
you. Could the Lions like can they be like use the Lions as like how baseball uses the Cubs? You know that angle.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
It's a huge for them to get in. They won a game, and now the first time in 32 years. Plan.
So like, and we're getting off the rails here, putting tinfoil hats on and bullshit like that. I mean, I hope it's not like that, but like every year, it's like set up. Now they have their fallback with the Lions because they never win anything, right? So like, if it's not the Eagles, okay, we'll have the huge favorite, the Niners, playing Detroit, who never wins.
Everybody loves an underdog.
David Goliath.
You got to have one underdog in there. Look, I get it. Basketball,
right? No one likes us. We don't care, baby. We're the underdog. We're back.
100% basketball definitely is fixed. Football,
if you watch,
I'm leaning, but like basketball for sure. When you see one team goes to the free throw line 31 times, the other team goes 3. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh yeah.
Stop it.
Well, I guess it was 2002. This was on the NBA documentary with Donaghy, who went to jail for fixing games. It was Kings Lakers.
Oh yeah.
And the Kings had all these good players, and the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq, and then they were in their run. And like the Kings had them dead to rights. I think they were up 3-1.
Weber and all them.
Yep.
Yeah. Peja, Bibby, Doug
Christie. Oh yeah.
Vlade was
in the team. That was an NBA championship team, the Kings, for sure.
Yeah, and like they went and the guy, the Donaghy, came on and said, like, dude, the league told us, like, because the Kings were in a closeout game at home in Sacramento, and he's like, yeah, the league stepped in and told us, like, we want a game 7 and we want the Lakers in the finals.
Right, because no one wants to watch.
And that was the year it was filled. It was the little engine that could Allen Iverson against the Lakers, David versus Goliath. And if you remember, if Sixers fans are out there remembering the officiating in that Eastern Conference Finals, they played the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee was loaded. They had Ray Allen in their prime. They had Sam Cassell. They had the big dog Glenn Robinson. They had a really, really good team, and the refereeing was suspect in that as well. It's an interesting watch. But basically, the Kings got screwed because the league wanted Kobe and Shaq and Showtime Lakers in the finals.
They just didn't want Sacramento. That's all they do.
Right. Right. Like they saw it was about to be Sacramento, Milwaukee, and they hit the panic button.
Right. Like they put it on like Fox Family at like
ain't happening.
Midnight.
This ain't happening. Tommy Arnone, I'm sure he'll be on post game with Rivals or doing something. Find a way. I'm with you, Tommy. 0-0. A lot of leaders on this team. They're more talented than the Bucs. I think they find a way. Greg's in the house. Let's get a win. 2 is the weak link.
Thank you, Greg.
He lives down there.
Thanks.
Greg lives in Florida too. Maybe
Thanks.
you guys should be friends and bash Tua because Greg doesn't like Tua either.
I get killed by my friends now. You're such a hater. I'm like, oh, I'm just.
But he's not good.
Right. I'm not a hater. Trust me. I still.
Is he a top 10?
No.
Is he a top 10 quarterback in this league?
They're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, haven't we, like, everybody was in the middle of the season. Oh my gosh, we're so good. It's better. We're fun to watch. Stop it. Like, haven't we seen this movie before for like 25 straight years? Like, it's not about stats. He's going to shit on himself when it matters. I think gimmicks don't work in January. And that's what we have. Don't get me wrong. I liked our toughness when we had Flores as our coach. We were tougher. We were way tougher.
Brian Wilson's in the house. Me Metal Mike. Why can't Dallas fans accept the fact that their team stinks since the 90s? I don't know. It's always their year, though.
It's like University of Miami football fans.
We
Miami
have
Hurricane
boys.
fans. We're back, baby. We're back. And then they're 4-0. We're back. And then a song by Soul to Soul is called Back to Life, Back to Reality. It's an 80s song. They sing it every year.
I read that Miami football is trying to. I forget his first name, but it's to his younger brother. He's been at Maryland for.
Oh yeah, they got Cam Warner.
He's trying to get a seventh year of eligibility and go to Miami.
Yeah, he wants to. Of course he does. They want to have two turn the ball overs in Miami together.
That makes sense. That's why he wants to go there. All right.
Cam Warner.
Let's hear a word from our sponsor, pay some bills, friends at Royal Billiards, then we'll be back, talk about some of the coaching openings, some of the happenings of the league, and we'll give you final predictions for Eagles, Tampa Bay. Sports Hounds will be back right after this.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor, and fun. Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
All right, there they are, Royal Billiards. Turn any ordinary room into extraordinary game room experience. Dartboard, shuffleboard, billiards, bars, bar stools, hot tubs, anything you can need right there at royalbilliards.com. Tell them A2D Radio sent you, 515 Bethlehem Pike in Colmar, Pennsylvania. Look, we'll start with Saturday. I mean, can C.J. Stroud go into Baltimore and win this football game on Saturday?
Yep.
I think he can, too.
I think he can.
I don't think it's no way.
Because don't forget what's lurking,
I don't think it's no way at all.
Lurking, too, is Lamar. I play like the Cowboys.
He's another one.
January, Jackson.
Yeah, but their defense is pretty
telling
I don't care. They've had the defense before, too. He finds a way to shit down his leg in January. There's something to that.
He didn't play last January, though.
He played every other one.
That's true.
That's my point. There's just some dudes that can't do it. I think this year it's a different guy, but the year he won the MVP, they didn't win a playoff game.
They did not.
So
they beat. Did they win one that year? No,
I don't think so. I think he's won one. I just don't know if it was the MVP year. The
one team that can definitely beat them is Buffalo.
But you want youth that doesn't know that they're not supposed to be there. That's the Texans. Like, that team is legit. Like, that's not a fluke. That guy's that quarterback's. He's playing his.
Oh, he's good. But you know what? Harbaugh has also seen this team. The Ravens played them the first week of the season.
That's a lifetime ago.
I understand that, but at least they faced them, so they sort of have a.
Look at this.
If you're watching ABC, Ric Flair's on, by the way.
The Nature Boy.
There he is. He's looking pretty good.
Okay, look at that suit. I was flipping through the channels the other night. He was wrestling someone on Wednesday. In the ring, wrestling. That guy.
He was wrestling.
Yeah,
you still got it, man. You still got it. Still do it. He's an icon.
Yeah, he almost died a couple of years ago.
I don't know how he's not dead. That's another 30 for 30 you should check out. There's a Ric Flair 30 for 30. Look, he's strutting. Woo!
I love Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair is great.
We used to have a belt in college. No, one of our pitchers would scream like that from the mound.
He's definitely going to try and bag that blonde, whoever that is. He's definitely going to try and take her home.
Yeah,
that's I wonder who he picked.
That's the day and age we live in.
Somebody tell me in the comments who Ric Flair picked. I know he's a big Carolina Panthers fan. He's from there. But
you know something's wrong in today's sports when wrestling's more real than the NFL and the NBA.
Right? Right?
Good point.
We got a wrestling show every Friday night in this very ring. Andy Ritter, Chrome is involved.
I had to enjoy that with my son.
Is there something wrong with somebody that always roots for the bad guy to win?
No, that's how I.
Yeah, that's what I do every time. That's what I do. I root for bad guys in the movies. I root for bad guys at wrestling.
Yeah,
all those.
I thought it was just me.
Like UFC when Colby Covington comes out dressed as Trump and George Washington and like just is racist AF and tries to just sell tickets and gets his butt kicked. I love it. I hope those guys win every match. Every match. But they didn't make Ric Flair predict. That's disappointing.
They should.
But back to CJ Stroud. I mean, look, I'm looking at the line right now. The Texans are getting 9.5. Like,
that's a lot.
Look, there were 3 teams. There were 3 teams that I thought I could make didn't think had a chance to win their respective conference. That was Houston because of their youth, the Packers because they're going to have to go at Green Bay, at Detroit, at Philly, at San Francisco. They're going to have to do some combination of that to get to the Super Bowl. And then obviously the Steelers are out now because they have Mason Rudolph. 2 of them are still playing. So, I mean, clearly I don't like any team can get beat this year.
You got to give Cleveland a lot of credit, though. I mean,
yeah,
all the injuries they had. They lose.
I thought there was an argument for them to
their first 4 quarterbacks. They're on their 5th quarterback, and they also lost Nick Chubb. I mean,
yeah. Let's put it this way: when the Dolphins were thinking about when they were talking about being the 2 seed, and there was it was lining up to face the Browns, I was like, oh no. Like they will run shot over us. Like that's just a bully kind of blood in your nose football team. And then they said they had more injuries than the Dolphins did.
Yeah, but they still went out there. Listen, the Ravens have had a ton of injuries this year, and they just keep sending new guys out every week. It seems like, and nothing seems to bother them.
All right, Penguin God Crosby fan 100. I hate to break it to you, the Steelers
already
are out.
lost.
The Steelers just lost, so they're not going to win anything.
The Steelers are going to win the Tua Bowl. They can have Tua.
Yeah.
Here, Doug, you attack this one. Don 19. Does experience still matter? Because CJ Stroud and Jordan Love are leading young teams, especially Jordan Love. That's like by far. That's like the youngest receiving core in history they got over there in Green Bay. And he's playing really well. I mean, we were talking about in week 6 that the Packers needed a quarterback in the offseason. We're not saying that now. And C.J. Stroud's a stud.
It goes back to coaching.
Is that just
coaching? Your job is to put your players in the position to be the most successful. And both of those guys, I think what Stroud's doing is more impressive just because he is a legit rookie, right? Started from day one. Jordan Love's seen it. He's around a Hall of Fame legend to kind of see it. It's not plain, but it's close. It's a close second. But it just shows you that that's what's scary about young teams is that they get a taste of success and they don't they're not afraid of they always say they're not afraid of the light. They're not afraid of the limelight. They're not afraid of the big lights, and they want to go up And when you're almost like you're either young or you're too stupid to realize, you just don't know what you're doing, and you're fearless. And when you're fearless, you play better. When you don't have enough to go back on, and that's where I think the Texans are. They're on the house's money right now, and hey, they got nothing to lose. He goes out and throws 5 picks. He's supposed to. He's a rookie, and now he's making.
They've only turned the
right.
And this is why I really like. I don't know if Houston's going to win that football game. It's tough to go into Baltimore and do that, but the Texans have only turned the ball over 14 times the entire season,
which is why they're where they are with a legit rookie quarterback. So
and not only did he missed time, so not only did
the backups not
turn the ball over, the backups didn't turn the ball over either.
Correct. That's a system. That's a coach. That's what coaches. That's what the coach.
DeMeco Ryan has done. DeMeco Ryan's has done
amazing. It's a
outstanding job.
I wonder who their offensive coaching staff is down there, because they're about to get looks.
It's just about
25% of the league needs a coach.
Make adjustments. That's what the professional game is all about. The professional game at every level, whether it's NBA, hockey, football, or baseball, it's about adjustments. And the teams that can adjust, right? Like the Dolphins, McDaniel, like that's what happens. It's a gimmick until someone stops it, and now you can't fix it.
Green Bay is going to travel to San Francisco. This is another one where, I mean, Niners heavily favored. They're probably the best team going right now. 10-point favorites, though. I don't think they blow out the Packers on. I don't think they blow out the Packers on Saturday night.
I think that could be.
I think that game gets ugly fast.
Yeah, I think that could be a 4 touchdown.
They beat Green Bay. Great job. They beat a shitty Dallas team. Dallas stinks.
San Francisco destroyed Dallas.
The Dolphins beat Dallas. The Dolphins.
I want to push back. Does Dallas stink? Because they're very talented. I don't think you can really deny that. Or did they choke?
Talent doesn't they don't. It's the Dallas Cowboy football team. You can have all the talent in the world. If you don't win, you're not a team. It doesn't talent doesn't mean anything. They're talented, but that's even worse.
Why do you have Micah Parsons cut in coverage all the time?
I didn't hear his name once yesterday.
Yeah, isn't he supposed to be like LT and rushing the quarterback
but it goes back to
being all over the place?
Dan Quinn didn't make one.
Is this McCarthy or is it like what? Why would you not rush him and have him like blitzing from every possible angle?
Stupid Dan Quinn.
Well, it goes back to what we just.
I don't think he's all that great. I mean, he's getting a lot of looks for hits.
Dan Quinn was never that good of a coach to begin with.
Well,
he had his chance.
Well, he stands up there in the booth with his hat on backwards and is like this rah-rah guy. I just don't. I think that wears thin after a while with grown men.
Well, Pete Carroll used to do that, and then when he got to
that's
Seattle,
weird. I don't know why he's not the coach there anymore. Same with Vrabel in Tennessee, for that matter.
Vrabel at Tennessee.
Vrabel in Tennessee is money and is money. It's money and the coach.
The only way it made sense to me was if they knew Belichick was stepping down and Vrabel wanted to go they were going to hire Vrabel in New England.
Well, apparently New England had it all worked out with Gerard Mayo the whole time.
Correct, but I didn't know that. I was thinking why did Vrabel let go?
I didn't know that either.
His team plays better above the talent they have every year. But I can see how if you're a front office, how an ex-player might rub you the wrong way after time, right? I look at again, why it goes back to the Dolphins. They hired the ball boy, for God's sakes, because he backed Tua, right? If players ex-players aren't going to sit there and be like, yeah, they're only going to hold the face of the franchise down for so long. I mean, they're only going to spit out BS so long before they're like, look, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah, I can totally see Vrabel like rubbing some feathers, being like, no, I want this guy or like they don't put up with it for so long, and then they get run out the door. And Belichick got to stay because he won 7 championships.
I think whoever gets Mike Vrabel is
very lucky.
Yes,
very lucky.
Fortunate. I think. I mean, the Chargers, they're messing around with. They're flirting with Harbaugh, Michigan Harbaugh. Obviously,
I would take Vrabel.
I'd be flirting with her. I'd be flirting with Vrabel
right now. I mean, no offense, like Ryan Tannehill, we all know another wasted, in my opinion, draft pick from the Dolphins, but like he went to the AFC Championship game with Ryan.
They almost
Tannehill.
won.
They should have won. Yeah, like that team was scary in the postseason. They were tough. They ran the ball down your throat. They played really good defense. They had an attitude. Like
look at
really physical, really physical team.
Very physical. That's what I want. That's what I want to watch from my team. Like for the team that I cheer for, that's what I want to watch.
They just had Ric Flair on the ship doing the cannon thing.
Yeah, I saw.
Eagles are in trouble. I changed my pick. Ric Flair is doing the cannon.
I was waiting to see Hulk Hogan's from that area. I'm surprised Hulk Hogan's not there, like, slamming him on the deck. Hulk Hogan's
what he's doing. He is. He's like a religious freak. I don't know what he's doing.
He got dropped on his head too many times.
I think they all got dropped on their head too many times. You have to.
Yeah, it may.
You got to be sick in the head to do that.
Yeah.
Like here, we're just gonna smoke you with a chair 15 times so we can sell tickets. Oh, okay, boss.
There's a price. There's a price for everything.
I don't know how
they can say whatever they want about acting and everything. That stuff hurts. You know it does.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially
and they got
scripted.
And they got to practice it. So they got to, they got to practice it. So like it's just not just hang on a second, let me go out there and just do this. Heck no, I got to practice what we're doing beforehand.
They go through tables.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it. I get it. I get it with the tables, but that still has to hurt.
My son loved that stuff. We went all the time when he was growing up. Man, we spent countless hours those damn things. Ringside.
I went once. to WWF Raw, and like I thought it was because I was under the impression there was matches like that weren't on TV that they did just for the fans that went into attendance. That's not the case at all. The whole show was just guys in suits talking trash. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I want to see someone fight. I want to see someone get hit with a chair. Like, give me something. Yeah. Nothing happened. It was like a week before WrestleMania.
Oh, that's why.
I guess like they didn't.
Yeah. No
one. I thought that would be like prime time,
Well, they want to make sure nobody gets hurt.
Like, correct. That's what I was told after the fact. I wish someone told me that before I bought the tickets.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, when Hulk Hogan pinned the Iron Sheik at the Garden, I was at that one.
I don't have good luck with this stuff because I went to the Elite Eight when it was in Philly, and stupid St. Peter's was in it, and they got beat by UNC by like 50. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but that was a nice story,
game. Yeah, it was cool until it wasn't.
Yeah,
and I paid for it.
That's what ends up. Well, that's what ends up happening with these Cinderella teams in college basketball. There's always somebody. There's always somebody who sneaks around, and then.
Yeah, but there's no such thing anymore because, I mean, with all this, with the NCAA letting the NBA letting them go after their freshman year, you get a team that's been there for 4 or 5 years, they can beat a 1 seed. It's not so far-fetched because, I mean, hell, with the college rules now, you can have a 28-year-old senior. So it's not like they've been in the system for 19 years. They should be able to take down a bunch of talent.
They're in the prime of their careers.
Right.
I think the one-and-done rule is the stupidest rule in the history of rules.
Yeah.
Just let them go. If you want to go try and be a professional out of high school,
go ahead.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, once you do that, you
final
can't play.
Picks. They're getting ready to kick the ball here.
Uh-oh. Final picks. I'm staying.
Well,
you want to kick it off?
I blew mine.
Winner, score, and MVP.
Wow. Now you're pushing it.
Yeah. That's what we do here. We push limits.
24-20 Eagles. And I'm going to go. It's a quarterback. Jalen Hurts going to be the MVP.
Okay. Brad?
26-23 Tampa. Mike Evans is the MVP.
Mike Evans is the MVP. Well, Darius Slay better stop tweeting and do something tonight. He's gonna have his hands full with it.
Because Mike Evans
tweets. I mean, dude tweets a lot. If you're playing good, tweet as much as you want. But Darius Slay has been that great this season.
Mike Evans can beat anybody.
Guys can't handle success now. It's not about handling failure. They can't handle success because they run their mouth when they have a couple good games, and then reality kicks in and they get their ass kicked. Then they want sympathy.
Man, look at ESPN is going all out for this. We got Snoop Dogg doing the intro. You got Hank Williams on the intro. You got Ric Flair firing the cannon. We're going all out. I'm going 24-17 Birds.
Cool.
Tough to go. Tough to go. You went Jalen, Doug, so I'll go defensive guy. Josh Sweat hasn't had a sack. He gets paid a bunch of money. He hasn't had a sack in 2 months. I think he gets there a couple times and changes the game. So, go Birds. Hopefully we're talking about success.
I'm pulling for you.
And a trip to Detroit. And a trip to Detroit next Sunday, 3 o'clock, NBC. Brad Ryer, Doug Minkiewicz. I'm Rob Brinkman, Sports Hounds.
I'm pulling for you.
Monday.
Go Birds. I'm pulling for you.
Good luck, guys.
Have a good week.